All right, 2023 Medicare numbers are out, so it's time for us to update our Part D deep dive video where I will outline how prescription drugs are covered with Part D plans. Now you can get a Part D prescription drug plan on its own as a standalone plan, which is most common for people who have a Medicare supplement plan to cover the gaps of original Medicare, or you can get a Part D plan that typically comes included with a Medicare Advantage plan. Either way, what follows is how your medications will be covered, regardless of which option you choose. So I got to bust out my trusty donut stencil again this year. If you can't tell, this is a donut with pink and blue sprinkles, and it will help us explain how drug coverage works. Be sure to watch to the end where I'll go over alternatives like GoodRx and how that all works. Now there are 4 phases of coverage based on how much you have paid within the year. So let's dive in and start with phase 1, the deductible phase. Now the deductible phase will start either the first month you come on to Medicare or January 1st of every year. It will only be the first month that you come onto Medicare when you initially sign up that first year. So if you first got onto Medicare on August 1st, 2022, then August 1st, 2022 is when your deductible phase begins. And then this whole process that we're going to talk about will reset and start over again on January 1st, 2023. Moving forward for the rest of your life, Part D coverage will reset and begin again on January 1st of each year. Now notice that in the deductible phase, we have not reached the donut yet. The donut is a symbol or a metaphor, if you will, of your Part D plan coverage. And since you have not touched the donut yet, that means that you are responsible for 100% of the cost of your medications until you meet your deductible and get out of the deductible phase. In 2023, the maximum deductible that insurance companies are allowed to charge is $505. There are plans with lower deductibles than this, but most of the plans that we see have the $505 deductible. So you have a bucket here. Once you have put $505 into this bucket, you can move to phase 2, the initial coverage phase. The observant viewer that you are notices that we have now reached the donut, and that means that your insurance company will start helping with your drug costs. You will still have some cost sharing in the form of copays and coinsurance. The amount that you will have to pay will depend on what tier your medication falls under with your plan. Every plan has a list of medications that the plan agrees to cover called the formulary. That big list is then organized into tiers that typically group the medications by classification and cost. So this can be a bit different by company, but we typically see tier 1 being preferred generic medications. Tier 2 is non-preferred generics. Tier 3 is preferred brand medications. Tier 4 is non-preferred brand medications, and Tier 5 is specialty medications. You can expect not only the drug cost itself to be higher as you go up in tiers, but your cost responsibility also tends to increase as you go up in tiers. So a quick way to lower your drug costs is to ask your doctor if a brand medication that you are taking has a generic alternative. All right, so you're moving along in the initial coverage phase, but you can move out of this phase. And the way that this happens is if the dollars that you and your insurance company pay reach a certain limit. In 2023, that dollar amount is $4,660. So the dollars that you have paid in the form of your deductible, all of your copays, all of the coinsurance that you've paid goes into this initial coverage bucket. On top of that, all of the dollars that your insurance company has contributed to your medications are included. And once all of this hits $4,660, you will find yourself in the notorious coverage gap, oftentimes referred to as the donut hole. I think the imagery speaks for itself here. While in the donut hole, you are now responsible for 25% of the cost of your medications. You no longer have that simple copay from before. This 25% coinsurance of sorts can raise your cost responsibility significantly. Well, how does one get out of the donut hole? Things get kind of weird here. So you will have a bucket similar to the initial coverage bucket where there is a specific dollar amount that you have to hit. In 2023, that dollar amount is $7,400. However, the dollars that contribute to that total are different than what we had before. In the new coverage gap bucket, we include all of the dollars that you have paid in the form of your deductible, your copays, your coinsurance payments, and the 25% that you have been responsible for while in the coverage gap. However, this bucket does not include the dollars that your insurance company has contributed. It does, however, include discounts offered by drug manufacturers in this phase that amount to about 50% of the drug cost. So to get out of the coverage gap or donut hole, it isn't as simple as $7,400 minus $4,660 from initial coverage. the dollars you are contributing are higher. But once your out-of-pocket costs and the manufacturer discounts add up to $7,400, you are out of the coverage gap and you move into catastrophic coverage. Now, things get weird again. While in catastrophic coverage, you will pay the greater of either 5% of the retail cost of your medication, or $4.15 for a generic medication, or $10.35 for a brand medication. Whichever of those dollar amounts are greater based on the medication you are taking, that is what you will pay. So if you have a $15 generic medication, 5% of that is 75 cents. Well, $4.15 is greater, so you will pay $4.15. If you have a $500 brand medication, 5% of that is $25, which is greater than the $10.35, so you would pay $25. Here's where Part D is currently a bit unsettling. There is no out-of-pocket maximum in the traditional sense where once you've paid a certain amount, your insurance company takes care of the rest. That doesn't happen here. You are stuck in the catastrophic coverage phase paying these amounts until, come January 1st of the next year, this all starts over again. Prescription drug costs are the highest healthcare spending category for millions of Americans. There are policies being put into place to try and help with these costs, specifically a maximum out-of-pocket of $2,000. But if that goes through, it won't be implemented until 2025. So Part D prescription drug costs are a huge topic to discuss with your agent. Now, what about alternatives like GoodRx and others like it? These can be great options for you, and from our experience, GoodRx can save people money on certain medications. Not all, but some as compared to your insurance plan, which is helpful for a lot of people. There are 3 semi-negatives that you'll need to weigh when you consider using GoodRx. Number 1, not all medications are less expensive. So make sure that you check all of your medications rather than just getting everything through GoodRx compared to your drug plan. Number 2, GoodRx is not a Part D plan, and because of this means that the dollars that you spend through GoodRx do not count towards your buckets that we've discussed. The dollars would not go to your deductible, your initial coverage, nor your coverage gap bucket, and that can limit how much your insurance plan can actually provide and help. Number 3, GoodRx sells your data for marketing purposes. Now look, there are likely hundreds of companies that you and I are using right now that do this same thing. It's the world that we live in, but we do have some clients that aren't keen on the fact that this prescription drug app is selling their prescription drug information or their data in general to Google, Facebook, marketing companies, drug manufacturers, and insurance companies. So that's there for your consideration. All right, I think that we covered it. If this was helpful, would you consider giving it a like and throwing a comment about something that makes you happy? It would really help our channel. And if you have any questions around Part D coverage, please reach out to your agent. If you don't have an agent who specializes in Medicare in your life, we are always here to help, and you can reach me and our team here at this email address or go to 90daysfromretirement.com. Hey, thank you for watching this far and for all that you personally contribute to the world. We'll see you in other videos and have a great rest of your day.